Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with our first updated complete guide for patch 6.1, and it's actually going to be Nilah, to the shock of myself and probably a lot of you guys. But before we get into it, of course, as usual, don't forget to check out her basic guide. I'll put up in the cards above right now for her skills, leveling, order tips, and tricks, as well as some combos. So the first ranked match that I played, you guys will see the gameplay later on. I happened to run into a pretty good Nilah game, and we happened to play Nilah for our very first ranked game. So game went pretty well, and I'm gonna cover what the items, runes, and spells you should go for are. So for the item build, nothing has really changed from the previous patch. You want to start with the Gluttonous Greaves for the AD and the Omnivan. Go into Bloodthirster as the first item. Huge amount of AD as well as physical vamp. You get additional stats when you're high on health as well. Now you could also go for Shield Bow here. Let's take a look at what the top players are going. None of them are actually going for Shield Bow, but Shield Bow is definitely an option. Then you can see that pretty much everybody is going for like basically the same build. Navori as a second item is pretty good. Now previously, I slept on Navori a little bit. I went for Shield Bow into Bloodthirster, but turns out Navori is actually a really good item for Nilah. And the main reason that's the case is because after you use your initial burst combo of like your E, Q, and W, your E and your W have relatively long cooldowns. So with the Navori, you are going to be able to get your W and your E cooldowns faster, and it's going to help you out a lot. Now next two items are interchangeable. You have IE, of course, with the bonus crit damage, as well as more reminder for the armor pen and grievous wounds. Now last item is completely flexible, so if you're into like a full AD team, Death Stance is going to be amazing. You are a melee champion, so you do get the benefits of that. Of course, if you're into an AP team, then it's going to be something like Spirit Visage, because the additional heal and shield you get from it is going to be insane. Now of course you could go for the more offensive option of Maw as well, and then of course you also have other options like Starex or like even Twin Guard, which I actually don't have equipped here, but you can go for those defensive options as well. So for the runes, I think Fleet Footwork is going to be the way to go. Now you could go for First Strike or Conquer, which are the more kind of old school runes that you used to go for. But with Fleet Footwork, you do get a couple benefits. Now the first most obvious benefit is that in lane, you get the additional heal and sustain. Now the additional benefit that most people don't realize is that when you prompt Fleet Footwork and get the additional attack speed, the 100% bonus attack speed, you can get up 2 autos in very quick succession. So it does help you kind of burst people a little bit as well. So not just for the sustain, but also for the damage and movement speed helps out a lot as well, being a melee champion who needs to run people down / run away. Now for the minor runes, now here is basically basically all three choices here are kind of horrible, right? Because with Brule, you really don't auto-attack all that much, and Brule is kind of becoming a lot weaker of a rune right now, because after it got the mini rework, it kind of sucks. Gathering Storm kind of sucks on AD champions, just because of how little AD it gives you, unless the match lasts insanely long, so I kind of just go for Triumph as a default. Here we have Giant Slayer, of course, to counter the tanks. We have Alacrity for more attack speed, and we have Second Wind for the in-lane sustain. Now, Second Wind is very, very important here. Way better than Sudden Impact, which gives you just a little bit of extra damage. But with the Second Wind, you can, of course, remain healthy in lane. Now, for the spells, mostly you're going to go for Flash together with Cleanse. But, of course, other than Cleanse, you can also take Barrier as well as Exhaust. Alright, so with all that said, let's move on to talking about the gameplay. Alright, so let's move on to the gameplay itself, right? So of course, before we do that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as usual. And any questions, queries, or remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll of course be sure to address them or drop a like. So first things first is, what is a good Nilah game and why do we play Nilah? Well, I've covered this basically in all of my Nilah videos, because Nilah is really a kind of very rare pick in the duo lane, right? Like jungle is probably Nilah's more popular and better role, but of course being an ADC main myself, and Nilah technically being what's supposed to be an ADC, at least in League PC, so why would you pick Nilah? Well, basically you want to pick her against auto attackers, right? So my personal rule is, at the minimum, there must be at least 2 auto attack based champions on the enemy team. More ideally is 3, or even 4. Like 4 is really unlikely, but 2 to 3 is kind of what you want to look at. And in this case, we have MF ADC, who's generally an auto attacker. Like, yes, she does have the ult and Q to do damage, but basically every ADC is more or less an auto attacker, unless you're like Ezreal or something like that. So you have MF, You obviously have Yasuo. Yasuo obviously just wants to go on top of you and auto attack you. And in this case, we even have Warwick, right? Warwick kind of wants to jump at you, and he can run you down by auto attacking you as well. So kind of 3 auto attackers in the game. So it's a really good game for Nilah, and that's kind of why I went for the counter pick Nilah. Now, you never want to blind pick Nilah ever, because Nilah can be so hard countered by champions that are dominant in lane, like Caitlyn, for example. Or if you pick it against a team that has really little auto attackers, you can kind of give a free lane to an enemy. Like for example, you can give a free scaling lane to champions like Kai'Sa, Zeri, Jinx, you know, things like that. And you never, of course, really want to do that. So let's talk about Nilah's support pairings. So who's good with Nilah? Well, basically Nilah can kind of work with every support. I'm gonna cover a couple of different options. So your first option is engagers, right? So engagers in lane with Nilah kind of are gonna suffer together with Nilah, because basically it's a full melee lane. You are gonna kind of suffer with Nilah for the first like couple minutes of the game. When you hit level 5 though, you have very strong all-in, and for the rest of the game, your all-in is going to be pretty good, because when your engager goes in, you can go in together with them, and then just, you know, destroy the enemy. But for the first couple levels, chance of dying is high, chance of getting poked out of lane and you know, being stuck on the tower is high. So yeah, so that's kind of the pros and cons. So now with enchanters, so let's talk about protective enchanters like Yuumi, Lulu, Soraka, things like that. Now they can help you survive the lane, and they will help you out a lot in the mid and late game as well. Like when they get items to buff you up, and that's when you have items yourself and you are strong. So I like playing with enchanters a lot personally. And now the last category, which is kind of a little bit of a deviation from enchanters, are mages. So mages, I mean like Zyra, you know, like Lux, or Brand, like these kind of damagey enchanter-ish, not even enchanter, right? Like Brand is not an enchanter. Those kind of damage mage supports, right? So how about them? Well, I think that they're pretty decent, right? And unlike like a lot of other champions who really don't want to play with these kind of damage supports, the kind of good thing about playing with these damage supports as a Nilah is that these supports can generally carry the lane. Like you see here, I have a Lux, right? You can see she's tossing her Q and E out. You can see Blitzcrank is getting chunked to like a 3rd health, and that's 100% the Lux, right? I'm doing nothing against the Blitzcrank at all. So kind of the main good part about these champions is that as Malphite comes in for an insane gank on MF, Blitzcrank 1 mile away, I don't know what MF is doing, as in she's kind of running in a weird direction, but she's dead, whatever it is anyway. So now she goes. Unfortunately, Lux KS's the kill, and I don't quite get the kill, and my scaling is a little bit more delayed. So yeah, it's kind of good to play with these kind of enchanter supports, simply due to the fact, not enchanter, but damage mage support, simply due to the fact that they can kind of carry the lane and take a lot of pressure off of you, right? Because a lot of times they will be stepping up to poke, and as a result, the enemy will normally be focusing them and not care about you too much. So there is that. So in this particular game, right, insane Malphite game by the way, because the enemy team is full AD. You have AD on Aatrox, Warwick is building AD as well. Of course, Warwick could build AP, but he's generally an AD champion who does do AP damage because of his passive. Yasuo is AD, MF is AD, and Blitzcrank is AP but doesn't actually do damage. So insane game from Malphite here. Like the Malphite counter pick is also insane, and Malphite is building tank, right? He has armor boots and he's going for Iceborne Gauntlet first item. And myself, normally I would go for a rush of Gluttonous Grease, but in this particular case, just because of how the enemy team is full AD, I actually decide to skip my boots as I go in here, and I get taken, I get chunked a ton, and eventually I do end up going down. I don't manage to kill Blitz or MF, which is highly unfortunate. But here I decide to actually skip the boots, go straight into BT, which I've just completed, and then go into armor boots later, because you don't want to rush armor boots as Nilah, right? Like, you're already really useless in the early game. That's gonna make you even more useless, right? So you want to rush the BT first and then go into armor boots, and armor boots is gonna be insane this game, considering the enemy team is full AD. So here I spot MF super duper overextended. I have my BT completion, she doesn't have any item completion. So here I'm looking to go on her. So here you can see I'm dashing onto her, I pop the W, I'm basically auto attacking her, running her down. Looks like a free kill to me. But out of nowhere, right as I was about to pick up the kill, MF just burst me down like from half HP, and I was so shocked that this was actually the case. Like, I mean, you guys saw what I saw, right? Yeah, she just one-shot me, and now the situation is even worse because now she actually has completed her Dust Blade, and now she's gonna do even more damage. I cannot believe I died to her right there. I thought that I would just easily run her down and easily get the kill. I mean, obviously, if I knew I was gonna die there, I would have just flashed the Q and easily just picked up the kill on her. But I just thought it was literally a free kill. Like, I thought there was no way that I couldn't kill her, and she kills me instead. Like, that's just insane. So anyways, now here I have an awkward situation. Right here you can see MF just bounces on me, takes out a quarter of my health with a Q, and I cannot defend this tower because Blitzcrank can just hook me in, full combo me, and MF just kills me again. So because I have no support, my support is roaming, now making her way back into lane, I cannot defend. So I'm just going to give the tower, wait for the wave to come in, and then just farm the wave. That's pretty much all I can do. So here we're not off to a very hot start. You can see we're 0, 2, and 1. This is very common for Nilah. I mean, ideally you want to just be 0 deaths, right? Even 0, 0, 0 is great because Nilah is really a champion that comes online when you hit 3 items. Of course, when you hit 1 item, it's a spike. When you hit 2 items, it's a spike. But if you kind of want to think about it this way, like in the graph, right? Like at 1, 2 items, you get a small spike. But at the 3rd item, you get a huge spike. And at the 4th item, you get another huge spike. So basically, Nilah is that 3 item ADC. Very similar to a lot of the hyper carries like Jinx or Zeri. They're also kind of like 3 item ADCs. Like when you hit your 3rd item is kind of when you start popping off. And Nilah is one of those 3 item ADCs. So when you're at like 1 or 2 items, you really are not that strong. So you kind of just are trying to play your farm and survive, and you want to eventually get to your 3 items. That's kind of what you're looking to do. Eventually get to your 3 items in as quick a time as possible with as little deaths as possible, and then take over the game when you hit 3 items. Like Nilah is those kind of champions that when you're in a game, as we go into the fight here, getting a 2-man ulti, Blitzcrank flashes away. We're not going to focus down the Warwick. Yasuo gets the ulti off on me, but you can see that we basically cleanse that ulti and then we get the kill and shut down onto Warwick. We're now chasing onto Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank burning from the red buff, dies to the red buff. Yasuo and myself now in a 1v1, but we both can't kill each other because he's too tanky for me to kill, and as a result of him being so tanky, he doesn't have enough damage to kill me. But of course in the long run he's gonna kill me, so I'm just gonna hop out of the fight there, getting 2 quick kills and the shutdown as well. Shutdown on Warwick was huge, right? That was a 7-kill shutdown, and that brings me to the most goal of my team. But even the most goal of my team is still below the goal of everybody on their team except Blitzcrank. You can see my team losing by a good 8k gold here. So as I was alluding to earlier, Nilah is one of those champions that can completely turn the game around when you hit 3 items. Right? The 3 item power spike on Nilah is just absurd. Right, like when you hit 3 items, 4 items, it's like when you really come online, you can really kind of take over the game. You go from being completely useless to all of a sudden becoming a huge threat to the enemy team. So now all I'm trying to do is trying to get to that point. But of course, that doesn't mean you don't fight at all. Right? You can see I've already opted into a number of fights like this one as well. I'm also going in here with W and just blasting people, whoever I can hit. And here my ulti has come back up. Poppy is pretty low. Here you can see I get a 3-man ulti, and Poppy just ults all 3 of them away. Like, why? Like, why? Like, could we not have maybe tried to kill someone there, or, you know, get some free damage off on them? Nope. Poppy just launches them away. Now here, honestly, Poppy, very questionable plays, but turns out to do very well in the end. Like, but the gameplay on Poppy is just really questionable. I think Poppy must be pretty broken, right? Like, haven't been playing all that much ever since Poppy released, but she has to be broken just based off of this match. Like, just looking at how Poppy is just randomly matching her buttons, pushing people away, ulting people away that she shouldn't, and queuing nothing, and she actually, you know, ends up kind of carrying the game. So yeah, Poppy definitely must be a really strong champion. And yeah, so here my whole team has died. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go bot and farm. MF and Blitzcrank are coming here. I'm not overly scared of them. I do believe, you know, I can just escape like this. Blitzcrank hooks me, actually gets the hook, and here I actually have to cleanse. But actually that's kind of a panic cleanse because my logic is that if Blitzcrank gets the CC, I need to cleanse so that MF doesn't kill me. But what I didn't really realize in that situation is that MF actually has kind of split away from the Blitzcrank. So Blitzcrank kind of hooks me, but he's alone, so I didn't actually need to cleanse there. So kind of a waste of a cleanse on that one. And here I'm able to actually pick up my Navori, so second item now. Another spike, but again, looking for that third item. Now Poppy getting 1v3 here. Aatrox gets ulted away by Poppy, and here Morgana is now here to back us up. And here we get another 3-man ultimate. And here we're now just attacking whoever we can. However, now the fight is turning on us, and here we have to flash dash out. Great buff bird doesn't kill us. We survive on 1 HP. Warwick flashes as well, try to finish the kill. Doesn't get it. And we're able to actually escape.
Turret lost.
Now here, mid lane inhib is down. We're just trying to defend our base. Now MF is pushing again. Now she actually spots me on this ward, but she's pushing anyway. She backs off now, as she should, and we just clear up those minions. Now a fight is breaking out in the top lane. We shouldn't really be fighting the top lane. Like, we are like 15k gold behind, guys. We're 15k gold behind. Like, can you imagine that we're 15k gold behind at this point in the game? That is wild. Yeah, I'm not too sure what else to say, but we're losing in every lane by like 3k at the minimum, right? Except support, right? We're losing every other lane by 3k, including my lane. So yeah, we are losing by like 15k at the moment. So why are we fighting? So here MF overextends for the tower. I'm just gonna dash through the minions, dash onto her, and now we're trying to run her down again. This time she flashes out on my ulti. She's not getting away this time. There we go, we get the kill. And the main reason why I killed her there is, if you guys notice, the moment she died, she completed Collector, Serelda's, as well as an additional cloak. She probably had 4 to 5k gold in her pocket right there. I think she had 5k gold at least, and she didn't buy. And we get one shot by Warwick. Oh yeah, but she didn't buy, and I cannot believe that she was sitting on 5k gold and she didn't back, and she tried to get our inhib instead. Right, but yeah, so we get another kind of shutdown there. You can see that top lane, Poppy is losing by like 3k gold. Jungle is losing by like, what, 5k gold. Mid lane, another 3k gold. My lane, another 2k plus to 3k gold. And yeah, support is actually in the lead. So the situation is dire, to say the least. But now we've kind of changed our 15k gold deficit to a 10k gold deficit. So yeah, I cannot believe that we are actually not getting completely stomped in a 15k gold deficit. Like, you know, honestly, when I was playing the game, like, yes, I could feel that we were behind, but it didn't feel like a 15k gold deficit. Let's just put it that way, right? It definitely felt like we were behind, but it did not feel like we were losing by 15k. So here we pick up the red buff. We're just finding whatever farm we can get. Like, we really need this IE. Like, honestly, at this point, I kind of wanted to actually get Moon Reminder, because we really need the anti-heal for Aatrox and Warwick especially. Yeah. But honestly, at this point, I think if I go Moon Reminder, that's kind of int, because we really need the damage from IE. So here, we get a huge catch. We get 2 people, kill 2 people here. And we now need to go for some objective bounties, right? So here we want to quickly go for this tower, get that objective bounty secured. Baron is up, so we're gonna go straight over to Baron. Warwick is trying to stop us. Huge flash push away from the Poppy here to try to get Warwick out the way. Now Warwick dies, Poppy sacrifices herself. I'm able to secure, Force Smite here by Morgana. And here, honestly, I kind of messed up here. Why am I chasing Warwick? Warwick has 15k gold, 4 full items. Why am I chasing him? Like, the moment he flashed away, I should have just went the other way, right? So Warwick picks up a quadra kill here. But the good news is, number 1, we got the Baron. Number 2, we completed IE. So now when we revive, we're going to be online. 3 full items now. And this is kind of where Nilah starts to shine. So, looks like it's going to be a free soul for the enemy team. I mean, Lux, very unlikely she gets, you know, anything other than death, right? Here, Warwick ults in, kills the Lux. Yeah, there she goes. She didn't have ult, no way to steal. So free soul for the enemy team, and we're just barely hanging on here, still with that 10k gold deficit. So now we are back up. I want to go bot to defend, but there's no way I can 1v1 Aatrox, not without anti-heal, so I'm not trying to find him at all. I just want the farm. Morgana apparently wants the farm as well, so she's kind of competing with me for the farm. Now here, Lux for some reason pinging Elder Dragon despite the fact that that is not up for another like 2 minutes. So here, once again, Aatrox is pushing. I'm just gonna farm the Raptors while waiting for the minion wave to push in. Aatrox now takes the gate to the other side of the map. So here it's just me and MF, right? We can see 3 people mid. So here once again, I'm gonna dash on top of MF, run her down. She flashes away. So the moment she flashes, she's gonna be able to kite me out. So I'm going to just back off. Now I see Malphite cutting off her escape. So I'm down trying to reach. So here you can see I dash to the minion to get the dash reset. I dash to her, and I'm able to finish off the kill, getting another pick on MF. You can see that my team is actually playing very, very well, considering we're at 10k goal behind. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, basically, you can see we're looking for picks on the side lane, right? We've found 2 picks on MF in the side lane. We've picked off Aatrox and Blitzcrank in the side lane. We picked off like Warwick and Blitzcrank on the top lane as well. So basically, we don't want to play for team fights. We want to play for picks on the side lane, right? In a fair 5v5 team fight, with a 10k goal deficit, we ain't gonna win that one. We need to look for numbers advantage fights, like, you know, 4v2s, you know, fights like those where we can actually win. And with the enemy team being so far ahead, they are getting, of course, very overconfident and getting into some pretty horrible positions. So that's all we're trying to do, is take advantage. So here you can see Aatrox trying to run down the Morgana. But here you can see we are 3 men collapsing on the Aatrox. Now Aatrox finds himself from a 1v1 to a 1v4. And now he's dead, and now Blitzcrank and Warwick, who came to help him, now find themselves in the 2v4, and now we're getting rid of the Blitzcrank. Warwick is on the run, yeah, but I don't think we can chase him, so we're just gonna back off a little bit. Now Elder is coming up in less than 20 seconds, as is Baron, and we have 2 members on the enemy team dead. Now this could be the turning point of the fight, where we could secure the Elder, and then maybe we can turn the game. So here is very critical point of the game. I'm trying to ping my team for Elder. My Morgana jungle is resetting and coming back on the map. I don't have time to reset, and I can't complete Molar Reminder anyway, so I decided not to reset, instead just farming the Gromp while waiting. Elder is now up. My team is actually here. We have Lux dead, Blitzcrank dead, as well as Aatrox dead. So it's a 4v3 at the moment. Warwick is still here. So here Poppy huge ult hits the Warwick and sends him all the way back to base. Now MF actually helps us to burst down the Elder Dragon with her ult. We secure the Elder. The Yasuo hops in. Warwick unfortunately just one-shots me. Now what am I doing here? I completely inted it. I was actually able to escape initially. I should not have gone back in with the ulti there. I should have just ran for it. Here Poppy goes in, or rather gets pulled in by Blitzcrank, and ends up killing the Aatrox because of it. And here we wipe the whole enemy team except the Blitzcrank. Now honestly, I think the best thing to do here is to secure Baron and use Baron to push. But my team decides to instead just go for the push, right? So here, let's take a look, right? We used to be 10k goal behind, now we're 5k goal behind. Now we get the objective bounty in the mid lane, putting us at 4k goal behind. Another objective bounty in the mid lane tier 2. Secure, now we are 2k goal behind. And mid lane has another objective bounty on the inhib, so now they're going for that one. We actually get the bounty before it expires, and now we are even with the enemy team. Would you look at that? 15k goal behind to even. I don't even know what to say. Like, those objective bounties are OP. We got the objective bounty on 3 towers as well as the dragon, and now suddenly it's all square. Now Warwick going in on my team kills my jungler, but I'm here to kill him. I'm looking for the Warwick. I'm going in, ulti, into Lux ulti as well. Lux with the Elder kills everyone. I don't know why MF is ulting right next to me. A free kill onto her. We're against Yasuo, so we pop the W. Yasuo can't damage us, and we kill Yasuo. Now Aatrox all alone. We're chasing him down. We just gotta kill him. Malphite Elder gets the kill. And at this point, myself and Malphite are alive. Entire enemy team is dead with 30-second plus death timers. We have the mid lane wave pushing in. Quickly just getting this wave. Now me and Malphite can end before the enemy team can even revive. So at this point, somehow with a 15k goal deficit, the game is somehow won. I don't know what to say. The game is somehow won. So I'm gonna leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and bye.
Victory!